Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the JCP Endzone Perspective podcast. We have a lot of exciting topics to go over, like NFL signings. We also have a brand new segment to go over that I'm excited to go over with Chooch and Cole, my lovely co-host over here. We're going to cover some preseason games and games that we're interested coming to this season. But unfortunately, we have some sad news today. We like to have fun and talk about football and all subjects surrounding that. But unfortunately, with some sad news today, former Seahawks and Ravens running back Alex Collins has passed away at age 28. He will be missed, and all of our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and loved ones. This is really sad hearing about this. So we will have a 10 seconds of silence for him and his loved ones. Okay. He will be missed. So, let's start off with some recent signings and news. There's a lot of stuff to go over since the last time we made an episode. Um, Ezekiel Elliott. So as of today, August 14th, Ezekiel Elliott and Dalvin Cook got signed with a deal on different teams. Obviously, that'd be insane. So Cole, Cole, what do you think about Ezekiel Elliott going to the Patriots for 1 year with a $6 million deal? And this will go
Well,
to Chooch too. Like the question will go
I
to Chooch.
think it's a really good move for the Patriots. I don't think it's necessarily like a necessarily big signing like some people think, but I think it's going to help them. I think it gives them good depth room in the running back room, and you got, Stevens, now you got Elliott, and, the list just goes on because, if we know one thing about Belichick, he loves to play the hot hand. So, I think this is going to help establish the Patriots team just a little bit more than they would have. And it's not bad value. Only 1 year for 6 mil. I mean, Belichick's running to the bank going, let's do more of this.
Yeah, and I think if Zeke can follow the Belichick way, then Zeke will be fine. I mean, we all know he's got the talent. Plus, he's wearing 1-5, which he wore in Ohio State. But he's got to beat out Ramondre Stevenson for the starting job, in my opinion. He wasn't terrible last year; he was good, and Zeke needs to prove himself. Can you not be a prima donna in a city that does not like prima donnas at all? Boston sports doesn't like them, so don't be one. Because I've seen a lot of Patriots fans on Facebook. They're like, we don't like this guy.
Yeah, I was really surprised to see the amount with the amount of money they gave him. I thought he'd go for way higher, especially with the surge in running backs basically asking for more money.
He's the reason the back market's so messed up.
Right.
That massive contract he signed 2 years ago and played. Zeke's been suspended. I'm pretty sure he was suspended more than Le'Veon Bell, and Le'Veon Bell was 3 times more the running back Zeke could ever be.
Jeez.
That's just my personal opinion, though. That's not by fact, but I think Le'Veon Bell was a far better running back and didn't get paid nearly as much as Zeke did. Nor did Pittsburgh even want to sign him.
Right. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you there. I mean, if we're gonna compare the two, I don't think it's even close. But I think this is kind of a wake-up call for Zeke, that it's like, hey, if you don't get your shit together, you're leaving the NFL forever. This is your last stop if you don't get it rolling again.
You're going to be a career Sonny Michel. Back up to everyone. When they get hurt, you're going to somehow find a way to do it, and so on and so forth.
It's like, we've seen how good you can be, so do that again.
Problem is a lot of these guys come out of college and are like, yeah, I'm great. And then they get to like Dallas, right? And they're like, okay, I made my name for 2 years in a team that's in a franchise that's well known, right? I should be good.
Yep.
Still got a lot of improve.
Owners are going to wake up. Owners are starting to wake up now and realize that we can't afford to pay these guys what they want because, I mean, they're just going to screw us afterwards. It's happened with how many people so far?
Exactly.
In the last 4 or 5 years, last 10 years, I should say. How many times does someone get their money and then they suck? Look at Josh Allen. He got his money. He was good last year. He wasn't Josh Allen though.
No.
This is such a great to do a podcast because the top 2 free agents that we're currently in got signed today, and they were both running backs. So Dalvin Cook went to the Jets for $8.6 million for a 1-year deal. I am excited to see that because I am excited to see how the Jets handle well. You know how I feel about Zach Wilson, Cole, and they could have been a legitimate threat in the playoffs if it wasn't for Zach Wilson interested in moms more than the actual football. So, I think adding a pretty solid. I'm not saying he's great, but like just any solid running back can help out that situation a lot in New York.
Yeah, my question is why Dalvin? Right, you got Brees. I mean, he's hurt, but Dalvin's going to be questionable all year. You got Michael Carter and Donovan Knight. Let Knight eat.
If you look at this depth chart, like Chooch was just alluding to, like you have Brees Hall, which I mean, injury concern, and I get it. Unless you're running something to where running the ball is going to be crucial to your offense, this move does not make a lot of sense. And I'm not talking about, the typical way of running the football. I'm talking that 2010, 2000 running the football where you had 4 backs and literally 90% of your game was running the ball.
Yeah. I think if they can somewhat, I'm not saying this is Dalvin Cook's necessarily way of playing, but if they can sort of transition into more of a throw to the ball type, like more route running type of running back, or maybe blocking, that could help out the situation with in New York a lot too. So running backs are one of the most versatile people. Like it's tight ends and then running backs, because not only do they have to run, they also have to get pass the ball to. Like they have to get someone, like a person has passed the ball to them. And they have to block for the quarterback sometimes. So they're O-line, receiver, and running back in one position. So if they can kind of eliminate that one side of just, obviously they have to run the ball, but into more of a receiving running back, that can somewhat help them a lot. And then have him block too.
Go ahead and go first, Cole.
All right. Well, I think the thing that would help the Jets the most, with all the moves they've made, if they run a lot of gun split backs, I honestly think that this could work out because, if you think about gun split, you're running, 2 halfbacks on the field at all times. And if they do this and, they get creative, maybe you add some, slip screens, maybe you add some, one running back goes on an angle, the other blocks. Like, if you get creative with it, it could be really good, and this could be a move that solidifies this offense moving forward. But if you're not going to utilize more than one back for a majority of your game, this move doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't think Robert Saleh has a bad idea in place with Dalvin Cook. It's just, and also the throwing to the running back thing. Look at Aaron Rodgers' last 4 or 5 offensive seasons. He's had a receiver, a running back that can catch out of the backfield.
Yes, Aaron
Jones, and he's one of the best at it. And so, it makes sense if you're going to have Brees and Dalvin in the backfield in a 2-back set. Do what Dalvin did in Florida State. Toss him the ball, make him run east to west, and have Brees run right down your throat.
Yes.
Do that. Because Donovan Knight can do the same thing Dalvin can and can probably stay healthier longer because Dalvin's going to get hurt. So what was the appeal of the signing here? Cool, you added another big name, but he's not healthy like Aaron. Aaron's never hurt. That makes sense. Why would you add a guy that misses 3 or 4 games a year because he runs the ball 4 times and then gets hurt because he doesn't stretch properly, doesn't hydrate properly?
See, and this is going to be kind of like a little preview almost about, the segment to come. So I'm going to jump a little quick. I'm, obviously not the full thing, but if you're the Jets front office, what was the thought when you look at your wide receiving core and you go, okay, well, you got some guys who are good on that wide receiving core. You got Lazard, you got Davis, you got Randall Cobb, but then you have nobody else. So my question is, instead of going and looking at your depth chart and going, "Oh, let's get a running back," why not get a wideout? You only have three good ones at that.
Yeah, I'm not that mad at it as you guys are because like all right, I'd be mad if it was like $15 million or something like that, but it's only 8.6 mil, and that wasn't such a big cut in their budget really, So
Considering Aaron dropped 36 mil, yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
so
True.
I am confused. I am a little confused, just like you guys are. But I'm not upset at it, just because like, oh, it's a pretty solid running back if our other running backs go down, and not breaking 10 million on that is like a pretty big win in my book for me.
also, Cole,
Yes, sir.
Garrett Wilson's questionable, and they got Mecole Hardman
Yes, and
and Randall Cobb.
that's more so my question mark
Yeah.
is why not have somebody in place for, I guess I should have worded that better, but I'm saying for
I'm more concerned of the Tyler Conklin and CJ Uzma at tight end. You have two, and then you have Jeremy Rucker and Kenny Yellowba.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a legitimate concern as well.
Because the O line's good, it's young.
Oh, it is
The
very good.
defense, as we know, is fantastic. CJ Mosley is also one of the best linebackers in all football. So all they need is just that offense to spark. But I think if you give Aaron the offense that Zach Wilson had last year, you would have been fine.
Yeah. Again, my big problem.
It was Zach Wilson, and Mike White got folded like a pretzel when he got popped like a bag of chips when he played
Like
Buffalo.
Pop Rocks.
You can hear the pop and the crunch.
Snap, crackle, pop. Anyway.
Yeah, he was turned into a jet sandwich.
In other news, this was about a week ago. Teddy Bridgewater got signed to the Lions. I don't have his contract on my notes, but I think it was a 1-year deal. I don't know how much money. I like this move a lot because it gives a scenario if Jared Goff goes down with an injury, and it gives a scenario for who was their quarterback that they drafted?
Hendon Hooker.
Yep, Hendon Hooker. That gives some
Someone to teach
some veteran advice to Hendon Hooker as a rookie. So I'm excited.
And
about that.
to say the contract real quick, it is 1 year, $3 million, so quite literally nothing.
Yeah,
That's a steal too for Teddy Bridgewater, who can give you, who showed in Miami, he can give you decent football play.
Right.
Yes.
He's a great.
You just got to give him. You got to call the offense for him, and I mean that's a team. Detroit's got enough talent there that it can happen, but I think that offense is kind of built around Jared Goff.
Yeah, but Teddy Bridgewater and Jared Goff, I don't think play too differently to be like they're not like I'm not saying they play the same, but I'm saying that they're not at like
same type.
Yeah,
almost.
they're not completely different from each other.
He can make it work. In other words.
Yeah, and Teddy, I think, is a little bit more accurate on the run. He always was. Teddy Bridgewater was phenomenally accurate in college. He was phenomenally accurate in Minnesota. He had that freak injury, and then he became backup.
Right.
So, but I mean, Teddy, I think if you just gave Teddy some time in an offense and gave him the playbook, he could be a starter and win you games. He actually didn't he prove that in New Orleans?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. So, come on.
Well, here's my thing. Like initially, when I heard about it before I knew the contract part, like I was kind of baffled because I was like, if you know anything about me, I'm very much gung ho on like, oh, if I got somebody new, let's throw them in, let's see what they can do, and not expect the world necessarily. And that's what I was thinking, with Jared Goff and Hendon Hooker, and you still got Sudfield in the back just in case. But then I see 3 million, and I'm like, how can you argue with that?
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah, and have Teddy teach Hendon.
Yes.
Be like, hey man, listen, this is your progressions. This is how you need to do this. And we're not knocking Teddy, but at this
Yeah.
point he's a backup. He's the best backup there is, honestly. He's a Fitzpatrick. He's the best backup there is, and the best one that's available because he can play and he can ball. And you're getting 100% out of him, and he's not gonna make a bad read.
And again, with Hendon Hooker giving some advice to him, like, you don't need to be like the greatest quarterback in the world and in there for a long time. You can be a solid, just like a solid average quarterback, and have been in the league for like 8-10 years or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
How long has he been in the NFL? Like,
Bridgewater?
yeah,
Oh,
10 years?
a
about
while.
10 years.
Yeah, so with that experience and having like, just that experience and being pretty solid as a quarterback, that can shed off a lot on Hendon Hooker.
Well, I really just want to move to the next thing real
Yep.
quick because it's been bothering me for a while. I've been wanting to bring this up. Terrence Marshall, we're talking news. He got carted off today, and I was just like, oh man,
No,
That hurts.
no.
That's their precision guy.
yeah.
That hurts.
That is gonna be painful to the Panthers.
Yeah.
Because think about it from Bryce Young's perspective for just a moment. Like, you already had nobody aside from Terrence Marshall. Now that somebody is gone, you're screwed.
Yeah, like just a way to have upcoming rookie quarterback, even if he's not the greatest in people's eyes, just to be like, hey, we're gonna bring you on a team with nothing, and then
Yeah,
we
and
expect
DJ's
you
in
to-
Chicago. And
we expect you to do really good. So bye bye.
And here's the thing too, folks. I just want to clarify. I am not, by any stretch of an imagination, a Bryce Young fan. I think I've mentioned that quite a few times before. But I do respect the situation. I mean, how can you expect him to be good if he's literally throwing to Casper the Friendly Chocolate?
And I love that line. Thank you for using that. And that gets me to my next point. Sorry, I'm looking up notes and stuff. I don't get it, man. Why do these execs you got 3 years to be good? With who? Who's around me? Casper the Friendly Chalk Line, Joey the equipment guy, and then some fourth string that's been here for 15 years is just seeing the field. In fact, he just came over playing football in Korea. And you want me to succeed with that? Your defense is full of second and third strings in most college teams. Come on.
That's just
Some of these execs gotta smarten up, and I'm talking to all of you. Figure it out because these quarterbacks aren't gonna mess with your pockets.
and it's
That's sorry, rant over.
that just gives that's just the sort of audience in today's. I'm not like I'm gonna say new audience, because and I am a new audience, but I don't fall in this line, that they expect these quarterbacks to come straight from college to like Hall of Fame, like like the first season it's gonna be Hall of Fame, Super Bowl, MVP, and it's like, well, a first round pick usually always is a bad team. Like
Right.
98% of the time it is a bad team. So, and most bad teams don't have an O-line. So what are you going to see with a great quarterback? They're going to get sacked a lot, and that gets blamed on the quarterback for some reason. Oh, they're not scrambling enough. Oh, they're not moving in the pocket. Oh, they're not doing this. And then you look at their wide receiver core, nothing. You have one good guy, and then what just happened to Terrence Marshall, and it's nothing's there. You have one good guy, and then he goes down, and then that gets blamed on the quarterback for some reason.
Also, I want to bring this up too because I've seen this a lot. There is a lot of Terrence Marshall slander, not today, but like before this, to where they're like, "Oh yeah, he's not even that good." Blah blah blah. It's like, all right, Panthers fans, have at it now.
Yeah.
You have nothing now. Nobody. So please keep hating Terrence Marshall. He was the best thing y'all had going.
You made a point earlier, and I was going to expand on it, and I lost it.
They don't appreciate their wide receivers until they're gone. It's
Just like DJ Moore.
Yep.
Yeah, and who, by the way, scored his first touchdown for Chicago this week, and we love that. I know there was a point he made, and I liked it, and I don't.
If we're like at the end of the episode and you think about it,
I didn't remember what you were talking about. Like I knew it was this, but I just blanked on it. Like it was there, and then it was like bye.
If we're at any point in the episode and you're like, oh yeah, I remember it, cut us off. We could be talking about the most important thing of our lives. Just cut us off.
Yes.
Unfortunate. Also, injury in news. Joe Burrow is down and set to be gone for several weeks. It says. This is gonna be bad.
I have an update on that actually.
Oh, you do?
Joe Burrow is expected to play regular season week 1. Several weeks was just an estimate based on how rough the calf strain was. Also, what I was gonna say to you earlier was Joe Burrow ruined it for all the other quarterbacks because every other O-line, his O-line was garbage and still went to the Super Bowl. So he ruined it for every other quarterback. Thank you, Joe Burrow, for being great, but you're ruined it for every other rookie with no O-line.
Excuse is gone.
You got hurt the first season, sat it out. They drafted your buddy, and now you're great. Look at this. Bryce Young, watch, learn, take the notes, and do what he did.
Who's coming up from Bama though? Are we going Ja'Cory Brooks?
Who do you want? I mean, Devontae could leave Philly.
Yo.
Who knows? Maybe when Henry Ruggs get out of the penitentiary, he can go to. Oh, wait. That ran a little flat. Sorry.
And then so that's great news. I haven't heard of it. When was that reported? Today or
like 2 days ago?
Oh, well, I'm late. Dang it. Okay. But okay, then we have actual bad like this. I'm pretty sure this is real. Last time I checked, George Kittle is down for the 49ers. That is gonna be tough.
Yeah.
That is going to be tough. And I believe there's another injury, if I can remember. I think it's one of their...
There's a lot.
I think...
I was going to say, we could just sit here all day talking about injuries. There's like a million.
It's weird how many people are getting injured right now. Like,
right.
Dre Greenlaw, linebacker, and I think he's injured. This is going to be bad. Oh wait, he is?
Yeah, he got injured during. I don't know if he's still, but I know he was not good.
I know the Chiefs carted someone off today too, but I think it was just cramping because it's like 115 degrees out in the Midwest right now, out in Kansas City, with like 90% humidity. So
Ray McLeod injured too.
Oh,
yeah, this is gonna be tough. This is the team that everyone like. They're you know, the team that's like, oh, you can have frickin' Red Rocket back there throwing dimes because of how good their receiver core is, and you have
the Red Rifle,
Andy Dalton. You can have anybody back there just throwing. You know, you get a hobo off the street, and you know they'll get caught. Shown in the preseason game, Trey Lance threw a pick, but it wasn't a pick; it was a catch somehow into the touchdown. Did you not see that clip?
I did. Yep.
No.
Yep.
What?
Trey Lance was in the back.
I'll go watch it after.
He was in the red zone. He threw it, and it bounced off a Raider, and like it bounced off the hands into the Raider, and then caught by someone. I don't know who caught it, but I was like, wow, this is.
You know what that sounds like?
This is what sums up the 49ers perfectly.
You remember when Mariota beat the Chiefs in the playoffs by throwing that touchdown?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, listen, we have a mob forming, okay? These people, they want to know what the new segment is, Pizza. Let these people eat. Let them know.
And I will be the one to explain it. It is my idea.
Yeah.
So, the new segment is, this is kind of a lousy name, but if we were GMs. So, me, Cole, and Chooch have one or two teams. I don't know how many times we're going to do this in the season. But basically, we choose a team or two. You know, it depends on how long one team takes. And we basically go over who we would trade, if there are anybody is there anybody in free agency that we'd like to pick up? What are the biggest things we want to improve from a team? If there are like contracts expiring that they're wondering like keep him or trade him or anything like that, to whether you would do that or not. So that's basically what it is, and I'm really excited to have Chooch because he hasn't told us because he's a weirdo. He knows me and Cole.
You want me to go first for this one?
Yeah, you
Yes.
go first.
All right, so starting off with my teams here, I got New Orleans. Actually, I got. So I didn't realize I wrote down like 4 teams earlier. Didn't realize it. So I'm gonna do 2. I'm gonna do 2 of the 4.
Okay.
New Orleans. Trust Derek Carr. Your tight ends are gonna have career years.
Yeah.
Derek Carr with tight ends. His main tight end, the last 3 years has averaged over 1,100 yards.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
Beautiful.
Trust your tight ends. Trade Michael Thomas.
please.
Man, you're just
Dude, he hasn't seen a
firing
football
off the
field in
list.
like 2 years.
You're just firing off on what you would do.
Yeah, I'm trading Michael Thomas. You're not going to play football for my franchise? Get the fuck out of my... Oh, sorry. Get out of my city.
Curse. God, curse. I don't care.
Get another running back. Alvin Kamara beats people in hotels in Vegas. Don't need him on my team. Get him out.
Well, we got Jamal. They got Jamal though. Jamal Williams.
Yeah, who, by the way, who only has all those touchdowns because he only got the ball in the red zone. It's
But
easy to be
it's-
overhyped when you do
It's
that.
still a TD. It's still a TD.
I know, but 5 yards is a lot easier than 90.
But he
Let
likes
the
animal.
man finish.
Better linebacking core. Your linebacking core is average at best. Last time you guys had a great linebacking core, you won the division, and you were the last 15-win team of the division. So do your thing, win your division because this is the most wide open division of football. Figure it out. I mean, I would just trade Jameis at this point. Let Aiden do his No. Hayner do his thing. I think they went
They're so
separate places.
similar.
No, Hayner's in Vegas, I thought.
No. Vegas.
Because they drafted a Fresno State guy. Two Fresno. Derek.
Aiden O'Connell is in Vegas.
Okay,
Chooch
I'm
is
gonna trust you
bothered
on
right
this
now.
one. I was 100% concerned. I 100% thought it was there. Anyways, you get what I'm saying. What I'm saying, though. Excuse me. Burp. You guys want to hear the second team?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Steelers.
Okay.
Ooh.
Give Kenny Pickett more downfield looks. Open up the offense for him to do his thing because he's gifted athletically. We know this. We watched him. Cole and I watched, I think, the last 3 seasons of Kenny Pickett, or 2 seasons of Kenny Pickett in Pittsburgh, and we were wildly impressed. Listen, he got a rule in college football that you can't fake slide because he did it so well. Who? Not even a running back or a returner can say that, or a receiver or a corner. Oh, a quarterback did that.
That is
Quarterback did that. Your defense looks like the steel curtain.
Yes.
Just trust. Let your guys do their thing. You have an freakishly athletic defense. Just maybe get someone to complement T.J. Watt. That's me though. Your secondary is fine. Minka Fitzpatrick's one of the best safeties in football. Joey Porter's gonna lit. Also, get the ball to Pickens more. Get your tight ends in, and your running backs look fantastic. That's just running back by committee this year if you have to. Do it, because Pittsburgh's usually got a good running back by committee thing going on anyways. Mike Tomlin knows what he's doing. I think he's one of the best coaches in football. People are going to disagree with me on this one, but Mike Tomlin knows what he's doing. I don't know why I'm telling him what to do. He's good. He's fantastic, but that's just my opinions on it.
yeah.
I completely agree.
I did too. Cole, I want
The
you.
only-
I want to go last on my team.
Okay. The only thing I'd add to Chooch's real quick with the Steelers, fire Matt Canada, please.
I don't trust
I don't
anyone with
like-
a last name as a country. I do not.
Yes, that is the top note out of everything.
I don't
All right,
trust last
so-
name people. Last name.
So
country
my
people.
team is the Baltimore Ravens.
I'm excited for this one.
Now, this is pretty obvious. I honestly don't know how the front office gets paid so much money for something I could fix in literally one trade. Hear me out. So let's look at San Francisco. They have some guys who are pretty good, right? I
Mhm.
mean, I think we can all agree.
Yeah.
So if we look at San Francisco, they have this guy. His name's Brandon Ayuk.
Mm-hmm.
And Ayuk.
I knew you were going to do that. And then they have another guy. His name's Javon Kinlaw. And he's pretty
Like
good
Cole's
too.
favorite person. Him and Fred Warner.
Yes.
Cole's like favorite people.
Ever.
So you might be thinking, okay, Cole, you just mentioned two players. I mean, you didn't really say anything. Well, that's your fix. You give them whatever they want. Quite literally, if they want, your firstborn kid, give them your firstborn kid. Okay? So trade them. They say, hey, we want a first and a third. Done. I don't care. That's fine. Because if you give Lamar Jackson the weapons, such as Odell Beckham Jr., which you did, Zay Flowers, which you did, which again, I'm not the hugest fan on him. I'm just going to be honest, but he's fine for now. And Rashad Bateman, get him the hell out of here, please. Can we stop pretending that this guy is a good wide receiver? Thank you. Signed everybody. Devin Duvernay, let the freaking kid play, okay?
Please.
Please. Watch him at Texas before you come and chirp at me and say he's not good. The guy is freaking good.
Cole's got a
You
point.
got Tylan Wallace, another solid wideout. Tariq Black, Laquan Treadwell. And then on top of that, you got Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. If you add Brandon Ayuk to this offense is going to be unstoppable. I
Yes.
cannot make it more clear. All right.
Um,
And now what about the second guy, real quick? I mentioned two, right? I said Javon Kinlaw. Why would you add Javon Kinlaw, you might be thinking? Okay, hear it out. You need D-line depth. There is no way to go around this. And who better than Javon Kinlaw? He doesn't have to be a starter. You can bring him in on special plays like third downs. He is an impact shit wrecker. Let him play. Let him be on this defense, and I kid you not, this team could win a Super Bowl. That is my first take.
spoke from the heart of a true Ravens fan.
I like that. You know what, Cole? I didn't think about that, but yeah, no, you're right. They need just that little bit of depth in the defense, and then a quicker guy in the receiving core, spread it out a little bit. You got Likely, you got Andrews, you got Odell, you got Flowers. Yeah, figure it out. This isn't hard. I mean, Harbaugh can do. Harbaugh won a Super Bowl with Falco, whatever his name is.
Well,
like, what did you pay the front office for? I just saved your team in two players, one trade.
Well, for this segment, I avoid like specific players to trade because it's like, in real life, it's like, oh, we're gonna trade one of our best wide receivers. Give me your best player ever, and it's like, oh, great, okay. give me Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson, Isaiah Likely, and yeah, we're done here. So
No, see, a lot of teams value that draft pick more.
Mm-hmm.
You're starting to see now the draft pick is being used for like, I don't have anything to give you, but like for the quality, you can get a steal in a second. Can that work? Sure. Cool. Yeah, fine. Take it. Second round pick for a bag of Skittles.
What you said about that D line too, Cole, is with the leaving of Calais Campbell going to the Falcons, that he was old. He is old, and he wasn't there for much longer, but it's still he was pretty great for the Ravens, and we need to get someone either as good as him or even as close to good as him back on that D line.
And then my second team, you guys are going to like this one, I think. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
Now, if you look at this team, they have one of the best defenses already assembled. So we're not touching the defense at all. Not one bit. What we are going to touch is the offense, because that's your problem. See, you have Baker Mayfield as your starting quarterback and Kyle Trask. I'm fine with that for now. If we're talking like the long scale, I think Kyle Trask can be one of the best QBs in the NFL. Give him time. So I'm cool with QBs. What I'm not cool with is your O line.
Hmm.
You need to replace your left guard and your right tackle immediately. I can't put it any different. You cannot have Matt Feeler and I can never pronounce this guy's name. Luke Godeek as your right tackle. You can't, and you cannot compete. And then last but not least, get another tight end. I like every other part of this team in terms of the offense except for those three things. So if you could go out and just say, hypothetically, you're just walking around in the market and you go, okay, what do we got? Go to a team that is stacked with these positions. And I'm telling you, you could go with the Ravens. You could try and snatch Isaiah Likely. I highly doubt that would happen.
Stay
but
away. He's our tight end.
But I'm just saying, get creative with this. I know, not too many people would do that, myself included. But hey, if they're interested in the slightest bit, take a look at it. If you go to the Raiders and you see Austin Hooper, for example, take him. I'm not saying he has to be the greatest tight end ever. I'm just saying if he can fit in the system and be the second guy, you are fine. And then on top of that, what about the tackle and guard, you might be asking? I also have a answer to that. Go to the Raiders also and take Brandon Parker. I know he's a little older, so I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, but why would you do that?" Hear me out. If you take Brandon Parker, because he's got experience, and he's not going to be worth that much. Honestly, you could probably get away with sending a fourth round pick. There's your fix. He can play, he can be a placeholder, you can get the next elite tackle. And then last but not least, guard. Where do you go for that? It's such a hard decision. Personally, I'm going with the Miami Dolphins. And I'm going, okay, what do you guys want for either Isaiah Wynn or Liam Eichenberg? Either one of those guys, if they go, okay, well, we want a second, done deal. Signed, sealed, delivered, give them to me. This team is fixed, and they're going to fight and be a playoff team this year.
Right. Yeah. With O-line is one of the biggest problems in football. That's you can't have a bad Joe Burrow. Oh, okay. 98% of the time, you need a pretty solid O-line. But if you don't,
I'm just saying, man. The man ruined the excuse, didn't he?
But he's Joe Burrow.
He almost killed the excuse. Okay, and how many other great quarterbacks from college have come in and had no O-line and just suffered?
Okay, what I'm saying, you need
also
really good
also
O-line.
Yeah, no, agreed. Obviously, look at Dallas has one, but their offense is incompetent. The Eagles have one of the best ones. Also, I really like the Cody Mock draft pick from North Dakota State at right guard. The kid, listen, he was a tight end when he went to North Dakota State. In 4 years, he went from tight end to one of the top guards in college football.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's why, again, if you look at the O-line, it's not all bad. It's just that left guard and right tackle that is absolutely the hamstring of your team. Some would say quarterback play, but like I said, I love Kyle Trask. If you can get his confidence back into what he was at Florida, you're set. You're fine.
Yeah.
So you got the Ravens and then the Buccaneers.
Yes.
You have anything else to add for your
Buccaneers? Oh no, I'm good.
No. Okay, so I did something a little different because I assumed you guys would pick losing rebuilding teams, but Cole picked the Ravens. That's not really a rebuilding team.
I mean,
Um,
the Buccaneers are.
I mean, the Ravens might as well be, right? Lamar's hurt for 10 games of the year. I saw this there.
I'm not gonna get into it. So for me, I chose the 49ers because I've Cole and Chooch have heard me say this. If this team with these players don't win a Super Bowl, it'll be one of the biggest biggest things ever. You have George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, the defensive guy Cole was just talking about. I forget his name. Fred Warner. You have like the most stacked team ever. Like you're a 90 on Madden every year with this team. And you guys just find a way to not be the best team ever. That draft was horrible. Like I changed from the first episode we did, I changed my answer from the worst draft. The 49ers had the worst draft ever. Like who you have
Would they even draft?
They drafted a kicker in the second round. Do I have to explain anymore?
Third round.
What doesn't matter. Does not matter.
Yeah, but with a team like that. Sorry, I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish. Go.
The biggest hole on this team is obviously the O-line. You guys injured 3 quarterbacks. You guys had they didn't injure. They had 3 quarterbacks injured. That is the biggest hole right now. And you have a quarterback situation with 2 pretty great quarterbacks. So, what I would do, this is my biggest thing. I actually looked up the free agency, and there is Dalton Risner, originally from the Broncos. I think he was from Kansas State.
Solid guard, yes.
Yeah, solid guard. He's in free agency. Pick him up. He's waiting. Pick him up. Please.
They have Trent Williams there?
Huh?
Isn't Trent Williams there?
Well,
Yes.
yeah, but Trent's a tackle.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Dalton's a guard. So if you pick him up, that can improve your O-line, not all the way, but that can help so much. So and then people are wondering is Trey Lance going to be traded? I'm not going to predict that he is or anything like that, but I'm going to for my GM. Okay. I'm going to trade him for either offensive lineman, maybe a cornerback, or picks in any way. Because you can use some improvement on the cornerback line as well, cornerback core. So, my best thing would be either offensive lineman or picks, probably picks. Because let's say Brock Purdy doesn't live up to the standard. Let's say he, what he did last year, late last season was, just a fluke, was just luck. Then you have a pick to get another QB, or you can just trade him for someone else.
Right.
And that is mainly it. But that team just infuriates me with how it drafts. You have a big hole everyone knows about is the offensive lineman, and you don't improve that in any way, shape, or form. That is infuriating to me.
Well, I think last year with the teams they got hurt against were actually good defensive teams.
Yeah,
I know Purdy got rocked against the Eagles. But they also set an NFL record for sacks in a season by an NFL team.
Mm-hmm.
So but I don't remember who. I don't remember who Lance got hurt against. Chargers.
I want to say, yeah.
Chargers, which is a good defensive team. Really good defensive team. Honestly, I think they're one of the better ones in the AFC. I mean, they give the Chiefs a hard time. Yeah, but no, I agree with that. But with an offense with a team like that, the offense is the best part of that team.
It was the Seahawks who hurt Trey Lance.
Another good defense.
Yeah. So that right there, I mean, it might not be it could be the O line, but at the same time, yeah, you know what? Let's say it. Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one. I'll agree with you. I was just
even if it was against really great defenses, that's still a problem. You know.
no, I agree.
I
agree.
I'm not expecting an O line. Like I never expect like, oh, this has to be the greatest.
No, exactly. Yeah,
it just needs to be good. Like I just expect you to be good because you have a quarter. You burned 3 quarterbacks. You know they injured. George Kittle had to throw. Like why? Like that's a good quarter. That's a good person to have throwing. But what if he wasn't there, or what if he also got injured?
Hold on, let me add something too to the Niners. This is something I would do as well. This, just going back to the draft for a second, how in God's creation do you look at a guy like Micah Baskerville, Ventrell Miller, or Henry To'oTo'o in the draft, and you don't go, hey, if we draft one of those guys, they could come and learn from Fred Warner, and then they could be our next generational middle linebacker. Mm-hmm. Like, how the... I don't get it. I don't get the front office. I won't get the front office. I get you have other needs, but they didn't even address the other needs, like you were saying. Like,
exactly.
Good call, Pizza.
Yeah, I'm really passionate. It's like one of my favorite teams. Not my favorite's the Ravens, but it's one of my most likable teams, just because the talent on there. And I really wish they would do a Hard Knocks on the 49ers, even though Hard Knocks is for rebuilding teams. Like if they did that, it'd be really amazing to see the more insight of that team and the amount of empty headspace that the owner does with drafting. Who owns the 49ers? Who owns them? Because
some rich dude from Silicon Valley, probably.
Yeah, and they act like they don't have money to spend on anybody. You're in San Francisco.
But they don't really have to trade for people in San Francisco. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Everything's homegrown, so we can sit here and go, these guys aren't good, but now that I think about it, do they really trade for anyone?
No.
Yeah, and it's all homegrown talent, so they got to know something.
So the owner, by the way, is Denise Derbit.
Of course, it's some Italian.
He can't say last names. It's just Denise D. We're just gonna say that.
De Bartolo.
Deal something.
De Bartolo.
It's late. Forgive me, folks.
It is.
I just don't understand. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna go to the next subject before I go rant about the 49ers. Preseason games. It was today. It was the first week a couple days ago. A lot of exciting stuff. One of the most entertaining preseason weeks I've seen in a while.
Oh, that you could say that again.
Yeah, like the amount of throws I've been having people see, the amount of jukes and dodges I've had. Like it reminds me of the commentator talking about Lamar Jackson. He just broke his ankles. I want that as on a soundboard. I want that really bad.
Did you see
he just broke his ankles?
Play where he literally just back cut and then went to the left and the guy was out of force. I was like, oh my gosh.
Did you see who was it? He was getting I think it was a guy in the Jaguars or something like that. I remember he was getting tackled and he was about to fall and he threw, and it got called for a touchdown.
Do you know?
Yeah. It's where are these plays during the regular season? Why is
not playing for a roster spot then?
You're right. You're in it. So what we did, we got me, Chooch, and Cole, we got 1 or 2 games that we basically covered. We took notes on to talk about for this subjects that we can talk about for the podcast. I'm gonna have Chooch start off though with his games.
All right. So I'm actually gonna cover the game that 2 teams that we talked about earlier already.
Okay.
came up. So the Steelers-Bucks game. Steelers won 27-17. Mason Rudolph was 7-12, 132 yards. Kenny Pickett was 6-17 for 70 yards. Also, Mitch Trubisky played for the Steelers. Mitch is back. And Tanner Morgan.
You don't want to talk
Tanner.
And Pittsburgh and Tampa both had like 8 running backs this game, just playing. And Tampa, John Wolford, 10-17, 111 yards, 6.5. One tutty. Trask had a pick, and Baker had a touchdown. Bucks, your defense better get conditioned.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a long season. Also, Tampa, you really need an O-line. Cole covered that. I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. Pickens reminded people this game why he's George Pickens. Made an amazing play. Also, running back by committee. I said it earlier. Pittsburgh's going to do plenty of that this year, evidenced by their 8 running backs. I think both them and Tampa are going to have very running down your throat offenses, but I think Kenny obviously gives Pittsburgh an edge because he's Kenny Pickett.
Right.
Also, the Steelers' defense looks good. Granted, anyone looks good against Tampa's O-line, but Pittsburgh's defense looks like the steel curtain again.
That's so mean to say. That is so tough, too, when it's like you're watching a game. It's like, does the O-line suck or is the defensive line just so good?
Do you want my second game or do you want to just go 1 for 1?
No, go. Second game. Let's hear it.
Chargers Rams. Chargers won this game 34-17. The Rams look really doomed when anyone but Stetson Bennett was in.
Oh, no. No. Man, I wish the Rams were good.
Same. I wish
Stafford.
Matt Stafford. Yeah. All 3 of us were probably in the same boat with that one.
We love Stafford over here.
The Chargers had 4 sacks. And also, they had 10 QB hits this game.
If I told you that doesn't surprise me, would you be surprised?
Yeah, but none of their first-string guys played.
I know. They're deep.
They're deep.
They're deep in
But hey, Stetson Bennett, 17-29, 191 yards, 1 tutty. He was making good reads. He had good ball placement. Obviously, his arm isn't the strongest. We know this. Compared to what we've seen in the NFL field, his arm is not strong.
Right.
But, if Jalen Hurts can win football games with his weak arm, then yeah, right? Stetson can too. Also, I have a note for this one. Remember, Stafford might be retiring this year, and Sean McVay's known to fall out of love quick with quarterbacks. Especially ones that get in Super Bowls.
Don't remind me.
So, we could see Stetson a lot earlier than people think.
I hope so.
Also, Darius Davis for the Chargers had an 81-yard punt return earlier. He had 11 last year at TCU. Or not last year. Over his career, he had 5 punt returns and 6 kick returns or something like that. Vice versa. He had 11 over his career at TCU. So the kid's good. He's good at it. And what else did I have? Oh, McVay needs to have a physical team this year. You can't run your typical Sean McVay offense with this team. It's just not going to happen. A lot of better murder ball.
It is so weird to see such a decline. Like, they went from Super Bowl winners to like
Here,
they're not
I'm going
even
to fix
making
that for you.
playoffs.
I'm going to fix that for you. That's why you don't trade 3 draft picks for a 35-year-old quarterback. That's definitely on his last legs because he has ass kicked in Detroit.
Yeah. Hey, they won a Super Bowl. Hey, at least he got 1 Super Bowl.
That's what happens when you sell for 1 ring instead of selling for 4.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you sell big. Actually, when you buy for multiple, not just 1, because the 1 turns into like 10 years of awfulness.
Yeah, I see that trade with like rose tinted glasses. It's like Stafford won. We're finally we did something good.
But what did it cost? Our future.
Everything. Hey, at least we got Goff. He's a pretty solid quarterback. Shut up, Cole.
Don't start Cole. Please don't start calling this one. But yeah, that's all I got, folks. I got those 2 games, those 4 teams.
All right.
I would actually like to go next if you don't mind.
I was gonna have you go next.
All right. So, my first preseason game is the Minnesota Vikings versus the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle won this one 24-13. And let's just talk about the Seahawks real quick. All right. Drew Lock was Drew Lock. Now, you might be surprised, or you're going, okay, what is he talking about? What does he mean? See, for every great thing Drew Lock did, he did something bad.
Oh, I was waiting for you to get there.
See, so what he did, he threw 2 touchdowns, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's all good. Let's go. He threw 1 pick, which for him doesn't sound too bad until you saw the pick, and then you're going, oh, well, I don't really know what he was thinking. Maybe his brain went to vacation. You know, a lot of things could have happened, but I don't know who he was throwing to. In terms of the running back attack for Seattle, kind of minuscule. I was kind of disappointed. I mean, they had a few guys touch it. You know, DJ Dallas had 2 carries, only got a yard. Zach Charbonnet, 4 carries, 14 yards. I was like, man, I wanted to see him get the ball more. Little sad. And then you just had a bunch of other guys that got runs, and it was like nobody really separated themselves. So it's going to be a long year if they don't fix the line of scrimmage over there in Seattle. And then in terms of the defense, I was very impressed. They rushed the quarterback like nobody's business. Like if you saw Jaron Hall, like he had to make plays on his feet in order to have anything this game. Um, you know, if you look at the sack stat sheet, I mean, I know they only had 2 technically, so you're like, okay, well that's not that much. They don't show QB hurries. You need to see that. This D line was really good, and the corners played really good. So they had in total 8 quarterback hits. They played a really good game. And then for the Vikings, I already mentioned Jaron Hall a little bit. He went 6 for 14. Not the best day. Nick Mullins, on the other hand, had a pretty okay day. 14 completions on 20 attempts, 1 touchdown. Minnesota, not too much better on the ground. Just kind of had a few guys run it. Dwayne McBride had 15 yards on 6 carries. Ty Chandler was the big to do, though. He had 11 carries, only 41 yards, though. So, again, no separation on that O line at all. And then for the defense, it really wasn't all that impressive. I mean, they had 1 sack all game. Their QB hits, they only had 5. Their pressure didn't fully get there, but I will say this. The secondary is looking better. Jay Ward and Lewis Seen really stuck out to me, and they played really well together. They could be a 1-2 punch, you know, in terms of safeties as we look more into this Vikings team. And then I also really like the individual performance of Andre Carter. I know he didn't per se do much on the stat sheet, but he was everywhere, you know, close to making plays on multiple occasions. So that's my first game.
Okay.
And then
I like that.
my second game, I'm doing Atlanta and Miami. And you might be surprised with who won this one. Miami lost 19-3 to the Falcons. How do you do that? Like, I
Be Miami.
Wow. Miami being
So-
Miami, I guess.
Spent
Let's
all that
talk-
money on that defense, score no points.
Yes, exactly. Only 3. So let's talk about the QB play for Miami. Absolutely abysmal. Skylar
Who-
Thompson.
Oh, Skylar Thompson. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Skylar Thompson, 10 completions on 16 attempts. So you're thinking, okay, wait, Cole, what are you talking about? 2 interceptions. 2. Like, come on, dude. Yes, you got 104 yards, but nobody cares about that when you're throwing 2 interceptions. And then Mike White, he also had a pretty decent day, except, oh yeah, he threw a pick. And you might be asking yourself, okay, well, there's got to be some sort of positive. How many touchdowns they throw? 0.
That
Yeah, pretty embarrassing for Miami. Now, I will say there was some interesting things they did. There were some really good play calls. Devon Achane was their leading guy catching the ball, which is kind of weird because he's a running back, but hey, we don't talk about it. 4 receptions for 41 yards. And then in terms of the backfield, again, kind of a running back by committee, Miles Gaskin had a really good day, 7 carries for 57 yards. Eric Uzakama, I butchered that, 2 carries, 52 yards. And Devon Achane, again, 10 carries for 25 yards. So pretty good, all things considered. At least running the ball wise, not throwing. And in terms of the defense, pretty good. I mean, they got 4 sacks, and they pressured the QB quite a bit in terms of just how the game went. Now with the Falcons, Logan Woodside, 14 for 23, no touchdowns or interceptions. So not too bad for him. The run game did really good for the most part. Had a few guys there who made some plays. And then Xavier Malone was the standout wide receiver there. 2 receptions, 50 yards.
that's
And the
pretty good.
defense obviously only giving up 3 points. So that's both of my games.
Okay. So would you say that the Dolphins are having trouble in the red zone, like punching in a touchdown in the red zone, or are they not even they're not even getting close to like field goal range?
Well, I think it's more so like every time they get something going, they throw a pick.
Yeah. Wait, they had 3 picks the whole game, the full game for the 3 picks.
Yeah, 3 picks the full game. So, obviously you had some punts in there too, and just some really tough things. But I'm very disappointed in Skylar Thompson. I thought he was going to be way better, and it did not turn out that way. So, but they could do a lot better in the regular season. I think they will, but it shocked me to see this score in the way the game went.
Yeah, I am scared for Tua. I
Yes.
Listen, bro, his brain's already looking like scrambled eggs.
Everyone's seen that
You
video.
know, when Zeke does this, that's him scrambling to his brain.
Everyone has seen that
You good?
video.
You good? Is there substance there? I can't find it.
Everyone's seen that video of the Dolphins O line just like throwing up on themselves, like tripping over each other, and God, Tua's dying. He's gonna die. Get him out of there.
I
Anyway.
think my most interested out of the 4 is definitely the Seahawks, because if that defense continues the way they did, this could be a team to where they make a deep playoff push that not too many people saw coming.
Yeah. I only have one game, but I feel like I had the most entertaining game. Out of all
No,
of
you
them.
did. I watched it. It was the
It
most
was
entertaining game.
Sadly for you, because you're a Giants fan.
Preseason, I don't care.
I am, dude. The Lions are scary. They are scary. Quick stat here. The Lions had 5 sacks. 3 by Julian Okwara. I hope I'm saying that right. And 1 by his brother, Romeo Okwara. Yeah.
Hold on. I got it. I'll pull it up for you.
What? Okwara?
The names.
The pronunciation.
Great.
Because if you ask Cole, if one thing bothers me, it's mispronounced last
Is it
names.
not Okwara?
Aquaria, I believe.
No, it's not that.
While you do that, I'm going to continue. 11 tackles for loss and 6 quarterback hits. That is scary. Like I am excited as a Lions fan from Michigan. This is gonna be incredible. And then, so that's the quick stat. I don't go off of stats really when talking about games. I go off of what I see, what's happening, stuff like that. And it was hard to not mainly talk about the Lions, like entirely talk about the Lions. The D line is looking crazy. Like it looks unstoppable.
Yeah.
Again, the Aquara brothers on the same team that on the same like position. I don't know if they're on the same position. I think one of them's a linebacker and one of them's on the D line. But it's scary looking. And then Jack Campbell actually had some pretty impressive stops to get to stop them on either like a 1 yard gain or like a no yard gain at all. No gain. And then Gibbs even had some play time too. He had really impressive runs, so I'm excited about that also. I'm kind of reading you all my notes, and the biggest thing is Maurice Alexander, I think he's a wide receiver. 95-yard punt return for TD.
Yeah, that was electric.
Yeah, I was freaking out.
I feel like the runner-up in their division always plays the Lions first in the preseason. Buffalo did 2 years ago.
I was watching the whole game, and I was doing that question like I said earlier. It's like, does the O-line bad or is the D-line just scary?
I grant you that it was probably a mixture of both. I mean, I'm gonna butt in here on your thing if you're done.
Good. No, you're all good. Well, I'm not.
As
done,
a Giants,
you can add in.
As a Giants fan, we'll banter back and forth in this one. You being a Lions fan, me being a Giants fan, we'll banter a little bit. The O-line's having better blocking. It's just, I don't think a lot of those guys played. Obviously with an O-line, you want to try different units in. That's kind of like get chemistry built up with these guys. So I mean, we won't know until probably week 3 of the preseason what an actual drive looks like with everyone out there.
Yeah.
But no, I agree that defense in Detroit's very good.
Especially stepped up from last year. That was the biggest.
It's young.
Yeah, it was like the negative, like the below. What am I trying to say? It was one of the lowest ranking defenses in the whole league, with like the top offense. Well, on the top offenses, and then good draft, good signings, and then they're scary now. Like they're unbelievable.
I also think Tommy DeVito played really well too.
Yeah, and no, you're right. Because actually, I was literally Pete and I were talking about this while you were gone earlier. If you're Dayball, do you keep Tyrod or do you keep DeVito? Personally,
DeVito.
with your quarterback whispering abilities, you're keeping DeVito. He was fantastic at Syracuse.
Heart and soul of that offense.
And Jameson Williams played because he's only suspended for 6 games in the actual season. But he caught a touchdown that was it's not crazy. It was just like the cornerback was pretty close behind him, but it was still like an impressive looking touchdown. So he will be missed in the regular season. I hope he comes back fully, like, just ready to run, ready to go.
He's really fat.
Mm-hmm. And Chase Cota, a wide receiver, he looks great in like curl routes, like where he kind of runs out and stops. And he's also really good at like catching the ball and then making yards after he gets hit. Like he's one of the guys that'll like do anything just to get an extra yard or two, which I really like in a wide receiver or a tight end or a running back. Like any offensive player, I'm happy to see a guy do anything for an extra yard or two.
Mm-hmm.
And then Romeo Aquara looks unstoppable. Again, the sack and tackles that he gets.
Pretty sure he's right in the last name, by the way. It's Nigerian, so I'm just not going to try.
And then, plus just having his brother Julian on the same team, that's going to help out a lot.
They're both very good.
Yeah, they're both very good and young. I think one of them's they're not crazy young. They're not like drafted, but I think one of them's like 28, and then the other one's 25.
Julian and Romeo.
Yeah, so
Julian is 25.
Julian's 25, so I think the other one's probably
Romeo's 28. He's the older one.
Yep. So, like having them on the same team, that's gonna help out a lot, and they're not like 39 ready to retire, so they're still gonna improve vastly. I'm still not done. I wrote down so many notes for this game. The O line for the Lions is, as we predicted, awesome.
Yep.
The Lions the score. What was the score again? The score was 21-16 Lions with and I think the Lions' main defensive need is to improve like man-to-man coverage, really. And again, that's going to improve when C.J. Gardner-Johnson comes in. I think that's going to...
Yeah.
It was an interception
I think he's more
last year, and that's what we mainly need on defense.
Yeah, but in the NFC East, it's a lot of zone coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I personally think CJ's better at, but, I mean, listen, Detroit, perfect place for him to make his name known as a leader.
Yeah.
And personally, Poland for you guys, it's wide open division. Go Lions.
Go
Brian
go D him.
Too.
We're all Lions fans this season. I don't care. I don't care if you're a Vikings fan, if you're a Packers fan, if you're a Bears fan. We are all a Lions fan this season. Don't shake your head no at me.
No, that's definitely not how that works.
I wish
they definitely hate you. They definitely see not a lot of people people are upset. Why are you root for the Eagles in the Super Bowl? Wouldn't you want your division rival to win? So you finish second in the division with the Super Bowl champ.
Yeah, I'm still not done with the notes.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Sorry, we're just talking.
It's good. It's good. I like having you guys jump in mid thing, so it's not like I go through my notes and then we talk. Giants had I think 2 interceptions. I'm not a big fan of our backup quarterback who played. I'm not sure if the guy that we drafted played. I keep on forgetting his name. Yeah, him. I'm not sure.
I'm checking right now.
I don't know if he played, and if he did, he didn't play a lot. Defensive needs to get worked on out of.
And yes, Adrian Martinez played.
Okay, yeah.
Not Hendon Hooker, though.
Not Hendon Hooker. Which I don't know why. I hope he plays in week 2 or 3. He needs to. Defense for the Lions needs to work on getting teams out of field goal range because that's where the Giants got a lot of their points from. I think they only had 2 touchdowns. And so yeah, if the defense improves on that, plus the defense is mainly going to be a tackling, swatting the ball, tackling the player behind the line of scrimmage, all that. And if they can just improve on that, that'll be really good. And then to talk about the Giants, this is where this is the part of the notes where I realized like crap, all this is about the Lions. So Giants had a really good interception that the Lions could have easily avoided. That's mainly because of the quarterbacks. Like God, I wish we had a better one, but we still won. And then the Giants O-line could use some help. And then that was me thinking like, okay, is it just the really great defensive line or just a really bad offensive line? And I think that's it. Yeah, okay. So again, I think I got the most like awesome like game out of all you guys. I'm sorry to take all that time up. So yeah, what do you guys think about that game? My points and
yeah, no, you're right. I mean, personally, we won't know anything about these teams, so probably week 2 of the regular season.
Yeah, and
sadly, that's just how it's going to go. But I mean, listen, we've seen teams go back when they were doing 4-game preseasons. Baltimore hasn't lost a preseason game till like last year.
Yeah,
they've been garbage the last 5 years.
They posted something on their Instagram saying like 27-game preseason win streak or something like that.
And notice how no one cares about it
Yeah, no one's bothered. Like no
because
one's
it's the preseason.
yeah.
Oh, also, I want to address something too. If you watch the NFL Outlook episode we did a little bit ago, I said Jalen Hyatt would be Rookie of the Year. He had one reception for -4 yards.
My
Stay
cat's on crack.
positive. Stay
Yeah,
positive.
I mean, he caught it in the backfield, couldn't do anything with it. I think, if I remember correctly, it was just a dump off, and he was like, "Oh, I can't go anywhere."
Exactly. I'm telling you guys, stay positive on this kid. He is going to kill defenses.
I mean, that's one more reception than Bryce Ford Wheaton had all game.
Yeah.
And I think it was hard for you guys as well. It's so hard to judge teams off of preseason. And again, we're not like judging, like, oh man, the Giants are gonna go like freaking. We're not doing that. It's just so hard to judge, like, because they're not. Most of them aren't starters.
Not the starters,
I get
yeah.
Justin Fields played for the Bears, and he's definitely gonna be the starter. But like,
Well, we don't know.
most teams have their backups up, and it's kind of hard to judge,
Yeah.
like, but and then you realize, like, oh, if this player was in the game, they wouldn't have done that, or if this player was not in the game, that stuff like that was just like, should I judge the offensive line if not all their players are there? Should I judge the linebackers if not all their guys are there? Stuff like that.
The best thing we get out of preseason is what the schemes look like.
Yeah, and rookies.
So we'll know. Yeah, but I mean, but also that goes back to we're not going to know until week 2 of the year, with week 2, week 3 of the regular season. Like once these guys get into their full swing with each other, like we're going to be like, oh, right.
Do you guys want to want to choose your, because we're gonna do this for next week too. The games that you're gonna cover for next week, if you have those. Or...
No, why would I do those now? No, why? We haven't even started yet.
I'm saying the games that you're gonna choose to go over.
No,
possibly.
I mean, I personally, I'd rather see the games played first.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna cover the Ravens game. Who do they? The Commanders. So I'm gonna cover that because I was originally gonna cover the game for this, and I was like, I'm gonna talk about the Lions game for a while. Loki.
So guys, I'm ready to show these people the games to look at on the calendar.
Yep.
Personally,
I'm gonna go first. Even though you're excited, I'm gonna go first.
Wait, would you mind if I did?
Okay, cool. Stealing my thunder.
Right.
No, I'm joking.
I'll go last. Pizza, you go second. I'll go last.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to do this to him. I'm sorry, but at the same time, not sorry, because this game excites the hell out of me. Bills at Bengals, Week 9. We didn't get to see this last year, unfortunately, because DeMar Hamlin went down, and
and then we got the replay of the game.
Yeah, it was definitely more important, and I'm glad they stopped it then. But it sucks from a football standpoint to not see this game. So I am so psyched. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. It does not get better than this. I had to say that one. It was killing me. The next game that I'm looking forward to is the shit. Sorry, my thing just stopped working for a second. But anyways, we're back. No, not my phone. So the Seahawks and the Giants, Week 4. Now, the reason why I highlight this game, I love the showing of both of these teams. They're both on the rise. They're both doing better than most people thought. This game is a marquee game to see who is for real and who is a pretender. And you're going to see a lot of excitement with this game. And my last but not least, I'm going to go Dolphins, Patriots, Week 2 for one reason and one reason alone. How are we going to see this Bill Belichick team? He has never been in this spot before of people doubting him, people hating on him, people maybe even thinking he should be gone because of how the past was. how does he respond to that? And I think he's going to solidify a much needed win against a opponent uh, of his own, conference division. So these are my 3 games I'm ecstatic to see.
As a hater of the Patriots, I'm a certified Patriots hater.
You got the badge for it.
I have a badge. Yes, I wish I need to order a badge. Patriots hater. I do respect Bill Belichick. I wish he wasn't as good as he is. But like the fact that he made that team, the pretty lackluster team that he has. Not saying that they're awful, but like you have Mac Jones. That's a pretty big handicap on your team. Have them go. I think it was like 9 and something. How many? I don't remember their record from last year, but to be able to even come close to being in the playoffs, it's pretty impressive as just a coaching standard. And yes, he has Tom Brady. He had Tom Brady for a while, and most people blame that for the reason of his success. But now I feel like just put a decent quarterback in his position, and they'll win just from Bill Belichick. But my games, I have... How many games do I have? I have 4. I have 4 games. First, I have a Week 1 Lions versus the Chiefs. I'm just excited about this because okay, let's say Chiefs win. Okay, Chiefs do what Chiefs do. But if the Lions win, if Jared Goff overcomes Patrick Mahomes, shut up. Shut up, Shoots. If that happens, tell me people won't be excited.
Oh,
even if they come close, even if they come close to beating them, people are going to be excited. And then, go ahead.
Go ahead.
After that, I have the Lions versus the Ravens, just because they're my 2 favorite teams. My hometown team versus my favorite team. I'm excited to see what Zay Flowers can do. This is week 7, so this is when we okay, this is how the team's gonna be. Most teams by that point are like, yeah, this team will be in the playoffs or not. And then after that, I have Jets versus Bills, just because I'm excited, and week 11, just because I'm excited to see how Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers do pairing up against each other, how the new wide receivers look on the tight end on the Bills, see if he gets a starter position or not in any way, shape, or form. Who was it who got
Dalton Kincaid?
Yeah, Kincaid, yeah. I need to get better at names, memorizing names. Then I have the Bills versus the Chiefs because, who doesn't love 2 dominant quarterbacks playing against each other? And what was it you had to say, Chooch, to bring down my dreams?
I just want to say, remember, the Chiefs sucked the first 2 weeks of the season, so take everything with a grain of salt.
But still, it doesn't matter for that.
They were losing to Arizona like 3/4 of the way through the game last year in the first week, and they ended up winning by 20 points. But still.
But Detroit will be ecstatic. Did the Lions beat the Super Bowl winners from last year? Tell me that that's gonna be amazing to hear if that happens. I actually have the Lions winning that game because of what you said too, of how they're not as good as from the week 1 too. So,
yeah, no, I was agreeing with you. Again, I was just telling you, just remember the recent trends.
Cole, you have anything to add from my list? Okay, Chooch, you continue on with your...
Okay, so I have my list here. So I'm going to piggyback off your Bills Jets thing, but I'm going to go week 1 in New York, the first time Aaron Rodgers gets to face this Bills defense. Now, this is also a big game for Josh because, it's your first time against we're not going to say arguably, one of the greatest quarterbacks to play the game of football and one of the greatest of his generation. We can all agree on that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Sadly, yes.
I want to see how the Bills play this Jets team in the Meadowlands again, because remember last year they struggled. And then I have Week 14 Bills at Chiefs. Now I think this is a tell for how they're going to do in the playoffs. If they can beat the Chiefs, it's big, right? But it's not the playoffs against the Chiefs. But I think this says a lot about the Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs relationship here. And then I got Week 17 Bengals at Chiefs, where it all started with this rivalry. Bengals at Chiefs Week 17 2 years ago when they came back and won. And by the way, Patty Mahomes only has one win against the great Joe Burrow. That's all I got for you.
That's why they call it Burrowhead, baby.
Damn right.
We have no idea what happened to Cole, so yeah, I'm excited about the thing, man. I'm excited about the Bills Chiefs because they don't have as big as a rivalry as the other teams.
I'd almost argue they do.
Yeah, but it's not talked about more in the media. Like in things they like Bills and not Bills, Chiefs and Bengals and other rivalry like that.
I mean, it's Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes again.
It's more of like
Everyone pays to see that.
The Bills and Chiefs are more like an unspoken rivalry, as I see it, the way I see it.
It's fair.
But yeah, I'm excited. Like this is gonna be one of the most entertaining things ever. Also, we forgot to do this. Are we gonna talk about the Hall of Fame game? I completely forgot about this.
What was special about it? The Browns suck and the Jets look like garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just being honest.
The only thing I want to say about this is that if there were as many flags thrown down as there were in that game in the actual season,
There's gonna be. Don't worry.
Like I was watching. I was like, every play had a flag.
Hey, so I'm gonna give you insight. I know you know this already, but just get a laundry bag ready. So when they start throwing flags, you can start counting how many flags they throw in a game. So you can start throwing things in there. You know, the NFL's got to get use out of this cloth somehow, and they're paying these referees way too much money to be awful.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. They are bad. God, sorry. Just like the MLB umpires. But we'll talk about that on a different day, different show, different everything.
If we get into baseball, we'll do JCP presents what infield perspective.
No,
Outfield.
it would. Nope. Nope. I don't know what it would be. But it would be something. But back to your regular schedule programming. Pizza. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that whole Hall of Fame game, I was like, one, it was like pretty boring. It only got good until like the fourth quarter. The quarterback for the Browns, backup quarterback that they had, that play where he blocked a defensive lineman for the running back was one of the craziest things I've
insane.
Ever seen.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god.
You know, it's getting so much coverage because it's the preseason. If guarantee if that happens in the regular season, they're like, it's just a guy making a play.
But Patrick Mahomes throwing a 30-yard pass. Oh my god, he's the
and it's picked off. Oh my god, what did Patrick Mahomes do? The interception of all time.
It's like, calm down. It was good coverage. Man, okay. I think we're ready to wrap things up for now. We did how long?
Almost an hour.
Yeah,
over an hour, hour 20.
Yeah, close to an hour. This is our longest episode.
Yeah,
we covered a lot of good grounds, and again, a lot of good news today. Again, rest in peace, Alex Collins. It's very unfortunate to hear that. Yep. I hope we hope we get more coverage on that. A cause of death, anything could really help. So, again, thoughts and prayers out to their family and loved ones. So, that'll be all from us. Thank you to whoever is listening or watching or anywhere. We will be linking in the description our link tree, and see if we can. That's where you'll find all of our Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, any social media that you want to find us and follow us. Please, if you want to comment anything and join our Discord. That's where we're that's where we are trying to build our community. Shut up, Chooch.
It's just funny watching someone else do it. That's not me. I'm sorry.
So that's where we're trying to build our community, have a ongoing. We're a family here, so if come join by, say hi to us, talk to us, give us ideas.
Or don't even say hi. Just come in and hang out. You don't have to say hi to us. You can say hi to yourself.
And then be silent. Don't say anything at all. But thank you to everyone listening and watching. We will see you next time on JCP Presents End Zone Perspective. Peace.